silver, like they were more etheric. And so it was at nighttime, the streets were deserted, and what I can remember during that period was every night I started willing myself to, there was a telephone wire or something on the street, and I would either will myself, I'd feel myself going to it, and I'd be drawn to it, and I found I was trying to will myself to go either under it or over it. And I think what happened was I became scared because one night I started going too high, too far. Does that sound?
Oh yes, you started to float.
Yeah, and I was afraid I was just going to disappear. And so I think I sort of buried that want a long time ago. So that doesn't sound like craziness?
No, not at all. Not at all. No.
Okay.
No. Is that I know as growing up I couldn't really talk to a lot of people about different things like that. I'm sure you found that as well.
My dad would have thought I was crazy.
Oh yes, exactly. Is that I remember trying to tell different people about it, and of course they did think I was absolutely crazy, because seeing yourself in a playground and putting your hands in the air and then knowing that you're going to go, or different things that there's also something else that they were talking about, is that where your body's in one place and then you leave, and that you, I did this one time, and that I walked into my grandparents' house, and I actually spoke to my grandmother, and that I would stay over there a fair bit, and that I remember walking into, my cousin lived there, I actually took the soap in my hand, and that said goodnight to everybody. I went in and I laid down on the bed. The next morning my grandmother phoned my mom and said, where's Glenda? And that the bed hadn't been made, hadn't been slept in, is that I had projected myself. Whoa. And so I had been through my grandmother's house.
And what did your grandmother think? Did she see you? And
yeah, is it, I saw her. I was standing there talking to her, and that she said she had the bed made up, and she went into bed, and I talked to my cousin, and the next day they were just completely floored, and so was I. And
yeah. I've heard of that too. I've read a lot about the masters and how they can do that at will, and it's very cool.
So it's happened a couple of different times. It's happened that another very dear friend of mine has a horse farm. Whenever she's not doing that well, she starts to think of me. And this, I guess, I was standing in the middle of the field, is what she said, but that's usually when she was in strong need of healing. So I've projected to different places where the so that's quite interesting.
Very cool. That is cool. Well, listen, we've got Mark back. I better get back to Mark.
Okay.
Good evening, Mark. You got us back, did you? Is this the same Mark from Lindsay?
Oh yes, thank you.
Hey, welcome back. So okay, so here we were. We're at, your story was you're living in a 150-year-old plantation home in the Lindsay area. There were renovations, and then we got cut off.
Well, the problem that I'm having with is that when I first moved in, things started to happen here. They lifted up the old carpets that had the new hardwood floors of the original floors of the house.
Yeah.
And little things started to happen. I went to Country Market, and I have my mother's Chashka dolls. You know the little dolls that go into one big small one?
Yeah, like the Russian dolls?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I put them out on the I always keep them up there next to my parents' pictures. When I went to Country Market, they were all laid out in the middle of the floor. All of them.
Now, how long have you been in this house?
About 2.5 years.
Over that time, like with those sort of with that experience,
It scared the crap out of me.
It scared the crap. Now, since then, have you associated any other feelings with goings on in the house? Is it
Yeah, there was a time I was sitting at one end of the couch, at the right end, and I had the plantation door shut open, and I heard my name said in my left ear. And I looked around and I thought, well, there's nobody here. And then when I turned around, I had it set at the back of my neck.
Okay. And
so I don't sit at that end of the couch anymore.
Maybe it wanted you to move, got the response it wanted. Sounds like it could be a previous owner.
Well, there's an intercom system in the house
Okay.
that when you go into the lobby, they have little buzzers above the mailboxes.
Okay.
So I was sitting watching TV, and my alarm went off. It just went bring, bring.
Okay.
And so I asked Sharon upstairs, a woman who's lived here for 16 years, I said, hi, and she goes, hi. I said, do these buzzers work? She goes, Daryl, they haven't worked over in 60 years.
Oh.
So I said, well, what's going on here?
Someone was most definitely trying to let you know that they were there. At the time that all this was happening, were you going through an awful lot yourself, Mark?
Pardon?
At the time that all of this was happening, were you going through something yourself? Because
No, but I found out when I first moved into the apartment that nobody told me that the gentleman that was here before me died in the bathroom.
Okay, because
And I had a funny feeling every time I took a shower, somebody was like pushing me. And I don't really like to go into the bathroom anymore.
Oh man. Yeah, my first haunted apartment I lived in, I had something, I felt like I was being watched all the time. I started showering, I learned how to shower and not get water in my eyes or soap. I had to be very careful. I felt eyes on me, and I'm not usually paranoid like that.
Well, I'm a thing at St. Mary's Church. I go to St. Mary's Church. So I had Father Martin and Father Charlie come over and bless the house. Because I was really scared,
Yeah.
you know.
How did that work out? Did it help?
Well, it worked okay for a couple of days, and then I went to a meeting in the evening, and then when I came home, there was a knife stuck in the hardwood floor, right in the middle of the door.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was just stuck there.
Yeah. Then that
So I'm
doesn't.
going, okay, what the hell is that?
Wow.
It
Has
was
it been?
really put in there, like
Ghosts.
somebody put it in there with a lot of force.
Ghosts can do that. No, that's doesn't. It's not a very common occurrence. I think there
Well,
has
I
to be.
wouldn't think so.
No, but it does happen. How have things been since the knife incident?
Well, I took the knife out, and I put it back in the butcher block, and I'm going, okay, this has gone too far. I'm not dealing with this anymore. I love the neighborhood, I love the location and everything, but this is a little too much.
you definitely.
So I don't know
need
how to
this
deal with it.
So you're still in. You're still in the house.
Yeah, I'm still here.
Yeah. You should have a clearing. It might be a good idea, especially if you're feeling awkward and uncomfortable and not safe in your own house. I do clearings. I don't charge for it. It sounds like you do clearings too.
Yes, yes.
Well, the other thing that I have trouble with is that late at night, in the bathroom, the cold water will just turn on.
Yeah.
It will just turn on, really soft, but you know, I'm asleep, and then when I hear water, I got to go to the bathroom.
Okay.
And the cold water, it's just the cold water.
Well, if the blessing didn't help, and and again, that's interesting how you said a few days later, you had the activity, you had the knife in the floor. A lot of times, what happens with these clearings, or when people make attempts to do it through either just a blessing or maybe a ritual that isn't strong enough, what happens? It's usually on the third day that you're aware that whatever it was you thought was gone is back. And it's very common. Some spirits will ring your doorbell nonstop for like a 24-hour period. So there's different things. So it sounds like it was letting you know it's back. If you're interested, perhaps, in having, I can speak for myself. I don't mind coming out. Maybe we could work together if Mark's up to it.
That's fine, that's fine.
Well, the weirdest thing happened last night. I was sitting here watching a thing on TV about Spanish American art, and I was just sitting there watching TV, and I could get this smell of cigars. It was a very heavy cigar smell. So what I did is I can't take this anymore. So I went up to the ministry, and you can go there and you can go through files of people who used to live here.
Yeah.
So it was an entire family that used to live here. And apparently my apartment is in the parlor. There's a parlor, men used to come and smoke, and then the women used to go next door and do their cooking and everything. But there's a very pungent odor of cigar smell. You can smell it.
Now, see, that could be, like, you know, obviously it could be from a ghost from that time, or it could be an energy imprint. Even smells can be an energy imprint. That's
And
just.
frankly, sir, I don't know what the hell it is, and I want it to go away.
Well, tell you what, Mark, if you want to stay on the line, and maybe pass your contact information on to our producer, we can contact you after the show and maybe make some arrangements.
And Linda next door, she has a beautiful apartment next door, but she has a false staircase that goes, she thinks it's a closet, but it's a false staircase. And she tells me that she can hear the sound of children
Okay.
running around.
Well,
And I said, well, I don't know.
I'm thinking you got some ghostly paranormal activity going
Most
on.
definitely. Most
Now,
definitely.
well, we've got Glenda. I don't mean to put you on the spot. Are you able to tune into information long distance like this? Is it something you'd want to do now or do off the air?
With this is that I do feel that even with your family, Mark, with the belongings that were your parents from Russia, is that I do feel your parents around you a lot, and that what I find sometimes that when different family members of myself are around is that there's different scents or different memory that they'll give to me, but I do feel the presence of a male, of someone that is quite wealthy, that did smoke a lot, and that they really can't differentiate between renovations or whatnot. But I do see this person, and that as you're talking is that I do see children running around and playing in your house. Is that when you start to become afraid of this entity that is with you and around you, is that keep asking out what it is that they want. And that tell them to go to the white light, is that there's most definitely
Yes, there's been a white light.
yeah, to keep telling them to go to the white light, and that once you've asked them what it is that they want, then leave it, and then you'll find that something that you hear, read, or different things like that, you will get your message with it. But most definitely, we'll come and we'll do a clearing and try to clear the entity in your house and send them to the light.
Do I have to fear them?
Not at all, no.
Don't ever.
The only thing I don't like is the cigar smoke.
Okay.
I mean, I like the smell of good stogie, but it's,
Can be overpowering.
it's you know.
It's a work in progress at this point, but don't have any fear ever of any spirit, of any ghost. That's my number one recommendation. I go into some of the scariest places around by myself a lot, and you have to be fearless. The second you allow fear in, it'll mess with your mind. It may attract some of the lower energies. In this case, yeah, be fearless.
Well, I wanted to store my bicycle for the winter downstairs.
Okay.
In the basement, and I won't go there.
So maybe you're picking up on something.
No, there's something wrong down there.
Okay. Do you know if there's
I put my bike in storage somewhere else.
Okay. Well, Mark, right now we're going to pass you on. We have to go to break right now. We're going to pass you on to the producer. If you want to give them your contact information, we'll get back to you. And in the meantime, we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back to talk to Patricia from Sarnia, and we're going to look at some ghost orbs, some good ones. Thanks for watching Hauntline.
Meals for our Wednesday night lineup crew are provided by Bo Pizza. For food and service that's beyond ordinary, call Bo Pizza at 749-3600 or visit them at 2695 Marsdale Drive in Peterborough. TV Kojiko's presentation of Hauntline with Cameron Bagg is brought to you by Moving Media.
multitasking. We all